I am 17-year-old Nikita Budu and I am representing Sangre Grande. I am a goal-oriented individual that enjoys seeing positive changes being made, and thus I put my efforts into making them happen. I am a Form 6 science student at Northeastern College in Sangre Grande, and in future I wish to become a doctor and own my own organization that targets the development of youth throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Being your Miss Tina Winners 2019 would be an honor and a responsibility that I am willing to accept. I would not just hold the title, but use it as a brand for all things positive to indeed make an impact. According to the Oxford Dictionary, suicide is the act of killing yourself intentionally. There are many causes that has led victims to suicide, such as the following. As your Miss Tina winner, Sangre Grande, I can assure you that suicide is never the answer. Do not make permanent decisions in temporary situations. Remember, child, teenager, adult, elderly, we all are human. We are all fighting battles, and like my mom, who was a kidney patient for 5 years, always says, you are given one day at a time, so take everything one step at a time. And there are never bad days, just bad moments. My assigned topic for this year is mental illness, which is described as any of the various conditions in which a person's thoughts, emotions, or behaviors are disordered. Usually, people with mental illness feel like they are all alone, and due to stigma that is surrounding their topic, they are scared to speak out and get help, afraid that they will be considered looking for attention. Then, persons who are professionally diagnosed with a mental illness is constantly fighting to win their battle, but they need support. Studies show that suicide due to mental illness has mostly happened by overdose and prescribed drugs. But there are many ways to prevent suicide. As an individual, step 1, when someone confides in you, don't discount their feelings. The biggest mistake we make is to not take their cry for help seriously. Then, we need to look at their failed attempt as their way of looking for a different alternative than that and help them find it. Thirdly, be a good listener and avoid arguing with them. Just be there and show them you care. Fourthly, encourage them to get professional assistance. And lastly, if they seem like they are still in danger to themselves or want to hurt themselves, do not leave them alone. As a society, the first thing I recommend is optimism. The most important prevention tip of suicide is to remain optimistic when interacting with a person contemplating suicide. Secondly, create opportunities of participation. To feel like you belong to something or a presence is valued somewhere is key. Under my topic, mental illness, I suggest that we have access to clinical care for mentally ill patients. One reason why so many mentally ill resort to suicide is because as a society, we have not provided them with the proper medical assistance that they need. A mental illness is just as alarming as a physical disease and should be treated as such. Then, when diagnosed with mental illness, one thing that is needed is support, not just professionally, but from family, loved ones, and your community. Thirdly, we should have workshops targeting those with mental illness. We should also have workshops that target the people who are supporting the mentally ill. We have to remember that mental illnesses aren't adjectives and should be treated just as physical illnesses. We have to break the stigma and raise awareness because mental health is everyone's business. Openly talking about your mental health and seeing guidance counselors should be a norm. This is how I plan to fight suicide. I am using my voice and spoken word poetry to raise awareness on suicide and mental illness. Because in a country where mental health is a normal topic and youth are taught it's okay to speak about it, it's a country in which we have broken stigma. Remember, mental illnesses is everyone's business. I am